Hello and welcome back to the channel Spirit of Adventure. We are Kath and Andy. Last time you left us at the Arctic Circle Centre where we'd spent the night. We now have to head south, but before we do, we need to call in and get some provisions both for us and the van.
Here we are in the supermarket. Not much different to an English supermarket really. Not a very large bread section, weirdly. And a lot of fish. Yeah, oh, and I tell you what they also have. They still have Jif, which now really annoys me, because why do we have Sif and not Jif? This is what we have just come back from the supermarket with. So it is actually mostly snacks because obviously we are journeying. We've got some sea salt crackers, we've got some bread, we've got a cake to try, we've got some ham, some chocky bars. Look at the size of those! Look at the size of that. Proper grown up Snicks bars and Twixes. Got some yogurts, breakfast yogurts, bananas, juice. And and some beer, which is down there, and all in all that has come to £60, which I think, relatively speaking, compared to how it was a few years ago, I think the Brits' prices are definitely catching up. We're now heading south down the west coast, and so we're below the Arctic Circle, and as you can see the landscape is just altogether a lot softer. The mountains are a bit sort of more rounded as opposed to be spiky, but it's still really, really pretty. En route, we pulled in to look at the gorgeous views. Here, we met and chatted with a lovely English guy called Rob, who, it turned out, was doing a similar route to us. But lucky him, he was retired and he was spending a lot longer doing it. So, today's been a nice day. We left the Polar Centre this morning and we've driven down to Mo I Rana and filled up with food and snacks and fuel, and then we drove along an absolutely stunning road and we're now in Mesna, where we were supposed to catch the ferry to Levanger about 25 minutes ago. So we're all sat here nice and quietly in a queue. We're chatting to an English guy who's in the van behind us. We're having a lovely time, and then we all glance up at the board and realise that all the ferries have been cancelled. We found out that the ferry, which is just one ferry that goes back and forth between the two islands, is stuck at the other side with mechanical problems. So we might not be going anywhere. We might be having a complete change of plan. And we'll let you know. Hopefully in about 15 minutes they're going to come and tell us what's going on. We are on the move again. We've been sat there now for an hour. There's no news about the ferry. The guys from behind us in the queue actually live at the other side of the ferry. They've given up and they are now driving all the way around to get home, which I think is about 2 hours. So that seemed like a good enough excuse to us. We've hung around for a bit longer. But yeah, we're going to head back to Mo I Rana area, but we're going to just see if we can find somewhere to stay overnight and then have a rethink in the morning, and at least it's given us a place that we need to come back to next time. Any excuse for another trip to Norway. We travelled back up the same road, past the viewpoint where we had earlier met Rob, and then onto a lovely park up for the night. Shortly after we arrived, another van turned up, and who should it be? It was Rob. We spent a lovely evening chatting and exchanging ideas for future travel plans. This is us for the night now. Look at that view. Very nice view through the trees. It's also very sheltered because it's getting quite windy tonight. There is a walking track up there, and here we are. Roof's just about to go up any second. And yeah, we've decided to have a complete rethink because, as I say, that ferry was cancelled. So I think, and the coastal weather forecast is a bit pants for tomorrow. So I think we're going to go inland where it's a bit better and then see what happens at the weekend.
Sun's out. Good morning.
Morning. So as we said yesterday, total rethink this morning. The weather on the coast is rubbish. The ferries aren't running because it's broken down. So we're going inland to Innerdalen, which is a pointy hill that I've seen on the internet. Fingers crossed it'll be a bit better in there. But the good thing is that because we're at sort of like Norway's narrowest point at the minute, we can always nip back out to the sea if we so desire tomorrow, depending on the weather forecast.
Hello.
Hello. So, as I said earlier this morning, we're setting off to Innerdalen to climb the mountain, but it turns out that that's 300 miles away, and somebody's put some misinformation on Google Maps, and we've ended up in Innerdalen, which is just this amazing little farm. It's just fantastic. We've come up a valley. It's beautiful. There's bridges, there's waterfalls. Oh, there's got to be some moose as well. And here we are. It's just beautiful. I've got no 4G signal at the minute, so I can't even Google to find out what it's about, but we will update you when we know more about it. Owned by the Inderal family for 8 generations, the farm has been lovingly restored. There's a cafe, farm shop and overnight accommodations, and it stands at the head of trails into the Oxdindon Mountains, also known as the Roof of Norway. Definitely one to put on our list of places to visit again. We are on our way back down the valley now, and we have come across Storforsen Bridge, Old Storforsen Bridge, which is a really pretty little bridge on a lovely, lovely river. There's a new bridge up there now that we've just crossed over, but folklore has it that there is a troll living underneath this bridge. So if we proceed carefully and quietly, we might get a glimpse of the troll. Suffice to say, we didn't see the troll. Glanced out the corner of my eye and said, "Oh, there's a waterfall there, let's go and have a look at it." Look at the size of that. It's immense. Laxfossen, I believe it's called. Amazing. We continued down the E6, leaving northern Norway behind and heading towards Trondheim.
pulled into this place, and it's a camp in Rasplats. What you do have are these platforms that you can park next to, so you've got decking. They're privately owned, but you can rent them out. I mean, this time of year there's no real problem, but you just, if it's, there's a honesty box at the entrance. I suppose if it's in the season, you just ring a number that's on the post to check availability, and you can stay at one of these places. And how much was it?
If you want one with a patio, it is just over £15 a night, and if you want one without a patio, it is £7.70 a night.
Which is not bad, is it, for being
there? Can you imagine this on the edge of Derwent water or something?
Yeah, it'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Never happened.
Cost a fortune.
What a brilliant idea.
That night, we found a beautiful secluded spot down a track next to a gushing waterfall, complete with our own toilet block. Hello, Trondheim. Of course, we found a coffee shop. We haven't done a coffee shop for
Years.
I don't remember the last cup of coffee we had that you didn't make for us, even though that coffee is beautiful. Anyway, Trondheim is today's job.
Yeah.
It's nice to get out of the van actually.
It is.
I was just saying to Andy that I didn't realise how tiring this trip would be. I thought we'd have a couple of days here, a couple of days there, because of course we had 3.5 weeks to do it in. There is no way we have stayed for more than one night, and I am getting really, really tired now.
We need a couple of days just to chill out a little bit. We've just decided to do northern Denmark on the way back, so we've just booked a ferry, which we kept open for our return trip. We didn't know which way we were coming back down, so we've decided to go from Bergen, and that's going to be basically a luxury hotel for us.
It's going to be the holiday part of the trip. One afternoon and a night on the ferry with a bed and a shower.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll whip you around Trondheim. I never said Tromsø then. Trondheim, and see what you think.
Well, here we are, in the lovely city of Trondheim. Just had a nice few coffees, and we're just visiting
Waterfront,
yeah,
which is where all the main trade happened back in the 1600s. Apparently there was a fire on that side in about 1681, I think they said, and so from then on you weren't allowed to store any flammable goods in the warehouses over there. So this side of the river then grew up and became popular. So obviously not a lot of trading going on now, but it is a very, very trendy area with lots of lovely bars just round the corner.
there are.
It's
Just
actually
down there.
very busy.
Yeah,
Just
last
round
time
the
we were here it was Sunday last year, and it was just dead, wasn't it?
Everything was shut.
Everything is shut, of course, on a Sunday. It's really nice to see it a little bit more vibrant this time. Yeah, it's cool. Let's keep wandering. well.
We're just round the corner now from the bridge.
Yep. The bridge we were stood on is down there, and we're now on a little jetty that juts out into the river. Very fast flowing river, which gives you an absolutely beautiful view of these buildings. Isn't it gorgeous?
Look, it's starting to spit.
It is a bit.
We will move on.
Good evening. Dinner is ready. We have arrived at our overnight spot next to a lake. Came down quite a steep track to get here. Kath lifted a wheel off the ground as we were as we were coming down and negotiating a rut. And we're all set up, ready for dinner and a bit of telly.
Whilst we eat our dinner, we'll end this episode here. Join us next time as we hike to Snøhetta in search of musk ox. As always, if you've enjoyed it, please smash the like button and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!